That's impressive that dull hand can answer the phone, considering it doesn't have a head. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis. Last time we did a good chunk of Canto II. This time we're going to do the dungeon. Well, start doing the dungeon at the very least. Yeah, I don't have any. It's kind of a shame that I don't have anything for you. Yeah. Nah, I think using support Roja would be a little bit too strong. Recommended level 15. Yeah, we'll be fine. We have Wild Hunt, we'll be fine. Try your best in this step not to step on the crusher made of the Tetsu crew's boss, Sinclair barely managing to hold back the urge to gag, reach the elevator. Rose was the first to complain about dead insects during the last expedition, but here she had to lift and press the basement button without a grumble. And once the group quieted down, sought at Roja with a barrage of pent-up questions. How'd you manage to win without using any wish power? No, before that, what made you so sure you'll win regardless? Yikes, hold your horses, gal, one question at a time, okay? Roja spun around, talking Saw into calming down, and Soul began to elaborate. That chief's boss had been keeping wary on the Tang Tang gangs all along. How do you know that? You could have read the fatales from his mechanical body. He had every reason to. After all, it's a well-known fact that the Tang Tang gang owned a wish power extractor. He must have been totally sure that the boss or someone representing him would make use of it for their game. So you deliberately made it look like you were using a sticker so he'd call you out on it. Yep, you'd let him go all in. And he seemed suspiciously ballsy in his eyes. A winning gambler creates your own momentum and rides it. I mean, look, have you guys even thought I'd pop the wish stickers, right? If I'm being real, wish stickers and all that stuff are just hopes and desires for important sounding labels in the end. People with unshakable faith in themselves, it's nothing more than a weird piece of paper. That can't be true. Jacob's wish power related tech is officially proof that singularity with widely proven efficacy. Thousands of people rely on wish power for every aspect of life. There's nothing like it to give people a confidence boost in this day and age. Me? I'm different. I've always believed in myself. That faith means that the mind may avoid crashing into the depths. Pray tell, how does one go about acquiring that faith? Know that? It's actually super simple. I'll let you know the secret to listen up. Oh? Just think, I'm the most awesome person in the world, so whatever anyone else says is crock shit. That certainly makes sense. Faust agrees as well. Perhaps I shouldn't have asked at all. Roja, don't tell me that's how you've been treating my words. Sadly, the victor's joy didn't last for long. The cavern was filled with the sound of pickaxes striking against the craggy walls. Some security guards keeping strict watch over the vault. It felt as though it was sending us a note of warning that we wouldn't be able to reach the bottom so easily. Hold on a second, there's no point in us winning the game then! Don't be so sneaky about this, and who are those slaves picking wet rocks? Although we've earned ownership, we have nothing proper to show as proof that we won. And we're more or less intruders to them. And in all fairness, anyone would have thought us as thieves and saw us awkwardly hiding near the vault. Quite the grand excavation. They made space to insert vaults all the while digging a tunnel. A stunning sight. Red Eye, please bury me in a mountain of cash like that. I don't fill my lungs with the scent of bills for a final breath. By the way, about the man who was at the table. You know him from somewhere? A friend from back home. I think that's what history between you two runs deeper than just that. Greg, love, reunions are just always uncomfortable. Didn't you feel the tension the time you ran into your former comrades? Can't argue with that. Yeah, things are moving inside those cages. Are they pets that might be raising, perhaps? Your family usually count creatures violently shaking their cages as pets? It's Picatula. They think they can tame abnormalities? Do you have knocked 3 grown adults out with coal with scuff? She heard that. Oh, eerie. It should be theoretically possible, provided they possess a similar level of intelligence to humans and that an empirically proven method of managing them exists, that is. Didn't work out, I guess. Could have made good guard dogs. No, I'm taking a close look, and these people have fingers or other parts of their bodies bitten off. Thankfully, didn't add "is this in fashion" or other obnoxious remarks this time. Is this in fashion these days? Almost didn't. I love Honglu. Honglu's just so goofy in the best way possible. His days are very much, well, I can't even say that now because his days were already numbered. We've already gone through how numbered his days were. Because this is her Canto, I'm going to include Roja in. We're not missing much by leaving out BL Sang. The security guards from Picatula. Starting to be a bother. Any ideas, Greg? You've fought on the front lines before. Try something. What's that? Hey, don't push! Being shot out of the cover by Roja, Gregor stumbled forward, separate from us, then bumping into a slave who was busy digging red rocks. They seem to pause for a moment in awkwardness. Hey there, it looks like things are going here. Looks like the way things are going here isn't all too pretty for both of us, eh? How about with this slide? We're not after the cash store vault. I mean, I wouldn't say no if we're offered. The point is we're just looking for a way downstairs. Are you making any fuss? Why don't we pretend this never happened and go our own ways? For 47,920,000, 47,910,000, 47,900,000. Speaks with sensible barf on your hands. From someone who often speaks in riddles herself, Yoshi's patience sure wore out quickly, judging by the shape of her sword as if threatening the worker. I can't say for sure, but I think she's meant she'll break all the remaining fingers on that person's hands. At this point, I'm more scared of how quickly we got that. Must repay all the debt before I can go back to my family. They said it'll take off one arm for every swing. 47. How much was it? Don't talk to me, I have to count. Hold on, what's that noise over there? Ah, shoot. Cornered, Gregor suddenly started shouting in a remarkably out-of-pitch voice. We can't live like this anymore. This is, outrageous tyranny to tie people up and force them to dig. Let's all, rise up and, fight our oppressors. Go, onward! The hell was that? Propaganda. His efforts have regrettably ended in failure. Greg, sweetie, here's the thing about those people. They ended up here by living their whole lives scum. Exploiters and exploitees. You wouldn't expect some half-baked speech to be enough to wake up the revolutionary inside them, were you? For your attempted instigation operation next time, sure you're training your acting skills to at least an intermediate level. Greg, have you never tried acting your whole life? Scheibenkleister. Look, I'm embarrassed myself. Gregor's trouble acting must have even agitated the security as well. That explained them opening up those locked cages, a potentially risky move. I love Gregor being terrible at acting. And more Picatulum. Still not going to be too terribly difficult. That literally took like 20 seconds. By God. It could have gone even quicker if I planned it out a little bit, but oh well, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we'll just keep going straight. Why not? I don't think we'll really need the resources. Yeah, super easy. We're just gonna keep rushing along. I don't remember exactly how short this dungeon is. I don't think it's terribly long, but there's definitely parts that I'm forgetting at some point along the line. I just don't exactly know where at. But we'll find it eventually. I feel like at this point, it almost counts as bullying. What we're doing to some of these. Because I mean, like, we have Wild Hunt, and Ting Tang's not bad, but it's not like it's not the best out there as Ting Tang, but it still is very solid, if nothing else. So, you know, that's neat at least. I will say it sucks that we're getting a lot of the Wrath Picatula right now, because they have some of the most annoying moves with a 1 to 10, they have a 10 coin power skill. It's really annoying if it hits heads. Like, why are they coming this way? Stop! I said stop! Get them away from me, hurry! 47,900,000. The others kept swinging their pickaxes. 47,900,000 picks left and counting down. They were able to find a way down using this opportunity. They did get help from the daggers after all. That's a coincidence. Roja replied with an apathetic look. Very fitting that Roja is very communist in her reactions. She is based off of a Russian book, Crime and Punishment. That is one of the books I know absolutely fucking nothing about. It's a fabricator made of smooth and colorful plastic. The valence of peculiar materials suggests that this is not a simple manufacturing facility. As soon as the result finished, a colorfully, honestly designed container activated with a cheery tune. I got a bad feeling. Why aren't there any security guards around now? Well, was all I could remember before the answer revealed itself to us. The doors of the container opened as if it finished operating inside. Highly excited! Thoroughly amusing! The game of death! It appears they redouble excavation efforts from this point onward. I can't have any reason to augment humans on a conveyor belt. Yeah, I get it. Now let's move. They're pointing around, let's sing that spooky song. I love Do You Want to Get Beat Heartily. There's also, Become Strong, genuinely. These guys are also very goofy, and I do enjoy them quite a bit. It's a very easy fight. With all these... Is there a line there? I don't actually know. Yeah, well. In the middle of the facility, you find a vending machine with large buttons. Colorful and fancy, and fucking forgot to read them. Which one will you press? And you feel strong pulses to press them. Which one will you press? Press all the buttons at once. Error, error! The vending machine begins to rattle. What's wrong with this thing? Should have known better than get greedy. Before the center could finish, the machine exploded, spewing a slew of toy parts into the air. Get the toy fist, toy foot, and toy screw. But we also take 25 HP and SP damage. Luckily, that, like, doesn't matter. We have, like, it's right before a boss fight, but this is a fairly easy boss. All things considered. Yeah. Do you want to get beat heartily? It's more of an annoying fight than anything. Is this one. I'll show it off just because it's technically a boss fight, as well as grown powerful for realsies. The main gimmick with this fight is the surgery status. Hold up, where's... damn, Wild Hunt's not able to... It's fine. Well, the main gimmick with this fight is the status effect of surgery, which we will get to in a bit. I don't think any of them have it right now. Also, weirdly, they're all negative coin. I don't know why, but sure. But yeah, surgery. When they reach 5 count, they will die, but it revives them fully every time that they do. Revives next turn, engage surgery. You, I think, work a little bit differently with it. But I believe all of them have surgery. But yeah, it's more of an annoying fight than anything. It's not particularly difficult, but it can be just a little bit tedious. Also, they are very fast, I must say. They are quite the fast little dudes. Luckily, like, again, it's not a difficult fight, it's just kind of tedious at times. Ah, damn. We rolled tails on Mutilate, which I think is, like, the first time that's happened to me. Ah, well. Again, that just happens sometimes. Yeah, we'll kind of just toss everything out. They don't technically die on the turn. Ooh. Damn. Real unlucky for us. They also have protection, which is annoying, but not the worst. They can't die more than once per turn. How do those cyborgs keep coming back? The sinners were discussing. Perhaps those beings are alive. In that way, they would not be able to die. No, we're not getting philosophical here. To me, it looked like rebuilding a brick wall. I think we're hearing something from that factory in the back. The group turned their gaze to the factory behind the cyborgs. Child clanking could be heard from a place that was quiet until a moment ago. Maybe we should take a look at the shady facility. We can't walk into unknown danger like that. Keep fighting them, or investigate the factory, which we want to do. You just have to check the factory, but first you might want to do something about the cyborgs first, just to be safe. Perhaps you could have enough time to get through by incapacitating the biggest one. I believe that happens after the first time you defeat Do You Want to Get Beat Heartily. I could be wrong about that, though. I do not know for certain. Yeah, sure. Heathcliff is going to get hit by an unopposed attack and probably get staggered. But oh well. Oh, never mind. That did like nothing. Putting in the large cyborg is planned to get to the factory in time. This is going a toy plant. Center's comment on the huge mechanism. Ah, come behold this curiosity! Center points it to a control panel with several buttons attached to it. Do you love the city you live in? What should you press? Pressing yes 3 times will provide the same effect as no, but also deal a decent chunk of damage. I think it's like 20 health to everyone. So we want to press no. Incorrect input. You must become strong. Warning, pressing the button 3 times will cause the facility to shut down. Press no again. Must become strong. Detected 3 inputs operating routine protocol number 3 facility shutdown. Looks like it stops. The machine's word for a short while before stopping. That the cyborg should no longer revive. Step outside the factory, shall we? So now they will actually permanently die when we kill them. Because people die when they are killed. Yeah, let's go to you. Roja has... Oof. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll just summon the horse. Honestly, Wild Hunt is just such an aura farmer. And it's fantastic. I think Deviat is about to take quite a bit of damage. Just from Courier Trunk. Emergency! Oh, never mind. Won't take damage if we murder him. Again, it is unlucky that we got 2 retreat identities so early on. Just because it really doesn't help us at all. Because retreat is pretty bad until we get to chain battles in a long time from now. When we get to the level 50 content. So, yeah. It'll be a while. Honestly, I don't know what to do about these really easy early fights. Just really easy basic fights. Exiting the passage, you see a group of cyborgs gather around a huge roulette. Oh, highly excited, thoroughly amusing, dog game of the earth. They approach you chanting in strange beats. So they want you to play a game of roulette. What should you do? Forget games, crush them in battle! Or just smack looks in dissatisfaction, but you know you can't always afford to give every single what they want. Jesus Christ, 40 SP. I did not realize it was that intense of a loss. But oh well. Maybe I should have gambled just for the content, but oh well. 2 protection to ally with the least HP. It is a thing. It sure is one of the things of all time. These fights are all so easy right now. Like, seriously, this is going so quickly. It's a bit of an underwhelming dungeon, but... Again, like, I get the complaints that this Canto is a little bit on the weak side. But oh well. Hold up. We need you to go for that. Okay. Like, yeah, it is, no, not the best out there, but it's still fun, and that's really what matters. I mean, really the big question with my team comp is how much I want to lean into getting Wild Hunt so early. because a Wild Hunt is super fucking good. But also, I have the retreat IDs. So it will depend on Hong Lu's seasonal ID when that comes up. But, oh well. Now, this is something that I will actually... Oh, well, first of all, I have to do this. Pink Shoes Enchantees, as well as Clippity Cloppity Tap Away. But I was talking last time about Valmori and Wonderlab introducing aberrations. Pink Shoes is presumably another aberration. This one being of, well, the red shoes in Lobotomy. But, yeah. I don't think know a terribly huge amount about Pink Shoes. Clippity Cloppity might have the information on Pink Shoes. Or maybe the Enchantees do. I don't know, man. But Red Shoes was kind of about, having desire. Actually, I need to reread my my library stuff for that. Yeah. In terms of how that's actually something I have thought about a little bit. How I will end up doing the the overviews of, how, looking at the different, the abnormality logs. That's the word I'm looking for. Damn, they really hate Sinclair. But how I'm going to end up doing the abnormality logs, I haven't fully thought about that. I think probably what I'll end up doing is I'll just have the full things pulled up on my phone and just read them out from there. Probably will end up being some later mirror dungeon grind stuff. Maybe. Again, I'm not fully certain how I will end up wanting to do all of that. Brad winning. A voice travels between the floating ribbons. What is your desire? Put me on. I'll carry you wherever you wish to go. Suggestions are incredibly suspicious, but for some reason the sinners are struggling to decide what to do. Like you say, fuck no. Natural desires must be undone. My head is pounding. We're just getting good. The everything's binding the team scattered and melted away. Freedom, freeness. And a familiar voice reaches your ears, but for now you should help the sinners recover first. And this will just be, yeah, literally one strike. Both Hong Lu and Ishmael have Pink Shoes ego. I feel like it's getting colder and colder. What's up with all this ice around? An increase in the frequency of anomalies should ideally be strong positive reflections. Did you go? Ugh, I hope that wasn't your attempt at a joke. Makes me feeling even colder. But beside Ishmael's grievance, I thought what Faust had said. That means you're getting close to the Golden Bough, right? It's a pretty solid answer if I do say so myself. Yeah, sure. But Faust's reply was scourgingly dull. At least that's how I heard it. Yeah, sure, whatever, Dante. And so, we continue on here. It's a nice little snowflake. Ice castle where neighbors lie. Yeah, we're just gonna power through the dungeon one go. One episode dungeon. It'll be fine. I do like the music for this section, though. That is something I will very much point out. Music is very good. Of course, obviously, it's a lot easier to note the melee stuff just because it has lyrics in it. But I do always want to point out how good Studio EIM does with their music. Studio EIM did all the stuff for Library and Limbus. That's not the melee songs. Lobotomy, I forget exactly who did Lobotomy, because I think it was a lot of not royalty-free music, but more quote-unquote stock music. I forget exactly who did, actually, I might be just thinking of the beta of Lobotomy that used that. Regardless, Studio EAM has done a lot of stuff that for Project Moon. They're kind of their main music guys, and like it's so good. I'm probably should be fairly well known by this point. I'm a big fan of music in video games. I like pointing it out in any game that I play. I do like pointing it out. Of course, for my end slates, I always try to have music for that. Of course, I'll be, unfortunately, because this is a live service game, I'm not going to be able to like direct. Well, I could in theory have all of the soundtrack downloaded, but I don't think it's going to be very readily accessible. Just a hunch. But yeah, except for that. But again, SlayerMathis, fantastic with their music. Something I do kind of wish I ended up doing with Lobotomy or Library, which is tough to get to. I have a bunch of, as of recording this right now, I have a bunch of Lobotomy and Library that I have recorded but haven't uploaded. I just need to get around to it. It's the problem with using Bandicam for those is that it's a lot less organized in terms of how everything is set up. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to kind of remember to get the uploads up because it is all Bandicam. But that's just kind of look behind the curtain for me. But at least for this, beyond because I'm recording. This is the first recording session after I've actually started. After I made the decision to make this kind of a full series with 5 o'clock time slot, I'll hopefully use this to get some motivation, get a big backstock in order to build up build up in future, get everything running, and eventually get back to Metaphor, Xenoblade, Unicorn Overlord. I think it's just those 3 that I'm terribly behind on, but I fucking love Limbus, so yeah. Shout out to Studio EAM. Forced at a monumental castle of ice and frozen pillars that seemed unbreakable. And there stood a person. A man with hyaline hair, clear as ice, waiting for us. I came here often whenever I felt the need to clear my thoughts. And there was nothing rocking chairs, even though there was no rocking chairs or whiskey you like. The chills on me in this place pierces even the thickest coat. It helps me restore a lucid mind. The rest of us were frozen stiff, stuck watching. Rosia had made a slow step toward to face him. I expect you to be here first. I met and I knew of a shortcut leading here. It was something we learned through the local ruffians, all in search of the whereabouts of a very great power, waiting to be used for the greater good. Alas, this area surrounding the Golden Bough is as far as we could go. It means anyone to get closer. I can't believe District 25. But seeing you now, it's only the Texas gangsters you would use. Maybe you should have stayed a country boy. Sonia, your luggage has been taken from shopkeepers who weren't even rich to begin with. Did you know, Roja? There's a little more than somewhat eccentric hollow with frosty walls. Hey, look at this. Another giant castle with thick columns of ice. The change happened the instant you walked in. It's not like you figured this would happen on my arrival. How'd you know? I have many sources. That's none of your business, Roja. At least for sure I made this happen in the first place. That's kind of Backstreet's Witch or anything. It's not hard to figure it out at all. Observing those faces in case the ice does enough. Take a peek. They're the ones you love that look down, are they not? 250,000 on. That's all it's worth? Not possible. You said precisely why, though. Its age is showing all the scratches and lack of polish. To be frank, others wouldn't pay any more than 200,000 for this, and the rest, all worthless garbage. It makes the taxes you owe 400,000 on in total. Why do the poor only grow poorer the harder they work? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Stacks of cash piled up in the pawnbrokers' vaults. Our neighborhood was being wrung dry of heirlooms waited for what little monetary value they had. Sonia rallied the people, delivering speeches using big words. You organized the group with the name of Yerdivi. It went okay at first. Even the thickest folks were inspired by Sonia's words to help the impoverished in the back streets. But Sonia still had a dissatisfied expression. Ultimately, the Yerdivi worked into an organization that cared more for debating about how best to change the streets in the nest, rather than going out to help those in need. That's why I left them. Being an armchair revolutionary wasn't going to feed our starving neighbors. But I told you time and time again, Rojo, that we must wait for the right moment. Sonia, I'm sorry, but that moment you kept talking about, it didn't come when Yerdivi's youngest, Ivan, had to sate his hunger with food from the garbage. Nor did it arrive after he suffocated to death. To achieve a monumental task, well-thought policies and a great power to carry them are required. All to make the redistribution of wealth happen. And in the process of moving toward progress, such minor troubles on a personal level are inevitable. That's minor to you? The whole thing was personal. We started us to help each other. What you and the Yerdivi were doing wasn't what I hoped for. Is that why you decided to take matters into your own hands? Absolutely. What our town needed wasn't an empty promise telling people to sit on their hands for who knows when, but someone who wouldn't hesitate to pick up the axe. I bet most of my neighbors had been starving for 4 nights straight that day. Yet the biting wind kept hounding without mercy, clawing at the chapped skin of the famished peasants. I happen to know whose safe kept more than enough money to treat my neighbors to a feast for days and still be just as full. So what did you do? Give me a sec. Can I pull out of this now? It's a confessional created for you as a result of the golden power resonating with your psyche. Moreover, the confessional's purpose is to lead the sinner to a path of penance. If only that old woman had changed her mind before it came to an end. But Rojo, you must have known that a terminal leech upon her neighbors would never turn over a new leaf. You know she wasn't the kind of person who'd give up that life to turn to a generous philanthropist. You would have knocked on her door with an axe in hand otherwise. Poor Rojan, dear. You seem to be under the delusion that you're some sort of saviour. Demanding my money so brazenly to my face won't change anything. You vermin are no different from the paupers in the back streets. That's right. I'm the one who put an axe to her head. Like cutting open the belly of a goose that laid golden eggs, I chopped that hag's skull. And then someone had to do it. Am I wrong? Unlike the foolish cottager in the fable who gave in to greed and lost out becoming richer, we were overcome with hunger and misery, and could have gladly eaten out her brains. And her belly was full of golden eggs, unlike that of the goose. Yet the old lady who killed the tax collector wielded considerable authority in District 25. What gave her so much power was her sibling's status as a member of the metal. I struck her down to save my dying neighbors. Is that so wrong? No. You had that ask for your own good. You couldn't stand the fact you weren't anyone special. Did you know? The metal never lets anyone who touches their family go unpunished. They aren't too interested in finding who exactly did it. Or they like to demonstrate clearly what happens to the poor fools that dare disturb them. The back streets residents who tasted the joy of quality meat for the first time in their lives soon made towering cadaverous pillars out on the road. Not much different than the carbogoaters outside the casino. I'm well aware of how much pain and guilt you've been burdened with ever since then. Living with the realization that you really weren't so different from the foolish cottager after all. Since that day, nothing I held truly felt like it was mine. All because of me. It's all fine, Roja. But you see, Roja, changing the world I perused hundreds of books and thousands of documents, and met various people all around the city, picturing a world where the oppressed can escape from the exploitative dominion of the ruling class and find liberation in the truest sense, to make that world a reality. However, the answer didn't lie in changing what was already there. Once a page of history is written, there's no way to go back and revise it. Look, this is the world we can reach. A world that can be created using the golden bow with which you resonated. May there be no one upon this earth suffering from starvation. May every individual enjoy the right to pursue psychological and intellectual delights. Join hands with me, and I'll give you that world as a gift. As if nothing to this point that ever happened at all. A feeling nobody else would understand. Even a glimpse of that world felt so dreamlike. I wanted to etch that mesmerizing instant in my memory. This was a dream. I'd even wish I was a part of it, so I would never have to leave it. And yet, sorry, I'm still turning down your offer. How to put it, I don't want to bathe in warmth just yet. I feel like I ought to be in this cold a bit longer. think I'll stay this way until I find my answer to the question of when it'll be okay to be warm myself. No, Sonia. You knew my temper would put the best of me and get me to kill her, didn't you? Roja? This will probably elude you, but you don't have the mark. I came here hoping to see you possess it, but I'm seeing on a few of your friends instead. The mark? What do you... beside, you can't see the mark either. In other words, you don't have what it takes to be a leader. But I'm different, so to make a better world. Yeah, but I think I remember hearing you say something like that while sat at a desk buried in books. That's why I can't join you. I still believe it's not big words behind closed doors to feed your neighbors. And I'm sure you've learned by now. There's no way around here rascal like me would fit under some dweeb's leadership, right? I'm going by the way to sign the castle, Roja. I hope you will find what you seek. We walked past Sonia, then made our way to the ice castle as he indicated. William Fatal. And it's just the same as it was before. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. Like with everything with this. Like, it is interesting to see Roja get a little bit of time. Like, it's obviously interesting seeing all, our center psychic at any point. But at the same time, it feels incomplete. We'll get to it a little bit more later. There'll be plenty to discuss. Like, we're not at the end of the Canto just yet. We're on the final boss fight, but even the boss fight's kind of disappointing. Like, this is... I'll get to the complaints about the Canto after we've heard our version of Pass On. Because that'll end up happening, by the way. Boom! What the? The castle trembles intensely as frosty rubble falls around us from above. This keeps up. A foreboding idea flashes in my head. Thinking of my clock was like a reminder of how much time we had left. Outside, no! We evacuated from in a hurry. Am I seeing this right? The castle isn't falling apart, it's like... Indeed. It must finally rise to its feet. Don't look back, just run! We're gonna break quite a bit, but what now? Footfalls. Now the human. Now they're slow and heavy. You could just say that something mad was after us. It may have served better. Dante, your job here is done, so we just book it? Cool. Give me a second, never consider what to do after getting down here. Really, does this look like a time for jumpy plans? Bus, where's the bus? Stop yapping useless rubbish, we'll run the hell away! Maybe first thought you'll sleep when I've heard it leave your mouth, Heathcliff. Smash your skull to pieces later! I will say, this is, I'm actually, well, I don't fully remember how it was, or when this change happened, but the way that this battle is shot, so to speak, did change over time. Fairly recently, there was an update that kind of changed some things about this fight. Again, just in presentation. They kind of made it a little bit more obvious why we're in this fight. I believe those the footsteps were not initially there. That's a fairly recent change. But yeah, it does kind of suck right now that we have an ID that is based off of being on the field for a very short amount of time, and we are proceeding to have them in a longer battle. Like, honestly, that is kind of the problem right now with Devyat. Of course, is he's gonna start taking some damage pretty soon, and a lot of damage at that. Oh. I think Rhoda's about to get... no, never mind. Okay. I was thinking she might get staggered, but not quite. That should be fine. Probably toss... If we do that, that'll get Ishmael's attack in. Requiem should be able to OHKO, because, yeah, it didn't even need a second coin. I need to wait for... Is that 30 stacks, or... Yeah, 30 stacks when we start taking a lot of damage, which will be quite soon. Damn. Yeah, well. That's what I get for using a base ID. And that one didn't even get staggered because it rolled heads when it's plus 10. Ah well. Not the biggest deal in the world. And luckily we do get the reuse coin. Ah, damn. That's fine. Just have the one left? Yeah. And Heathcliff will be able to finish it off. See the exit over there? Persistent Ross. I'll distract him somehow before he can get away. Why don't you throw one of us at him? You can bring him back later anyway. Why are you looking at me when you say that? Oh, look there. Leave this to me. Sonia, what are you playing at? What's with your attitude? You have to take all the help you can get. Two people offer to help without asking for anything and usually have some ulterior motive. Just like I simply couldn't hold back from using the axe that day. Not something that might have a similarly inexplicable drive pushing me. Dante, I take it that your organization is willing to make a better world in its own right, yes? What does a better world entail? The first time I was reminded that I never had questioned the motivations of Limbus Company. And thankfully none of my contemplated fudging reached Sonia, and he took my lack of a response as a sign of agreement. Silence them so speaks volumes. I'll take it as positive. One more thing. My child will visit you soon. Child? Sorry, my eyes must have fooled me. I thought I saw something on his forehead for a second. Indeed. I mean, that boy will have quite an impression on you. It'll be a touching reunion, I imagine. Throwing his chin at something behind him. A faint light was shining between blocks of fallen ice, giving a distinctive glow. The golden bow. Ramus Aurelius Receptus. Dumps might be acting on the same impulse of kindness next we meet, though. Clear path toward prosperity of the many shows itself before my eyes. I'll take it without hesitation. After somebody else left us with a mysterious message, the Urdivy began to show up one after the other. We were in good time for any touching farewells, like I won't forget you. That's how Rhodey was the first sprint for the exit. Rhodey, I'm not concerned. So, respected for consequential differences, he was nevertheless a friend of yours. Ah, that. He's a clever sort, so I'm sure he'll figure out a way to live and all that jazz. Truly an ideal form of friendship. Sometime later, though I was dead tired, Virgilius wouldn't spare me from his fierce gaze until I gave him a brief verbal report of what went through that day. I see. So that's your story. Just one thing that bothers me, though. This man, Sonia, was it? His actions during those final moments don't quite seem to match the beliefs he told you. That's why we should scrutinize his true intentions. Hey, time out! Time out! Pharisee Song, now you too? Why does everyone care about Sonia more than me? The bottom line is that we got the golden bow. As a plus, check this out, everyone. For her pockets, Rhodey pulled out a comfortable bunch of gaming chips from her hands. He changed his cuties ready to cash on any casino, so we should drop by one. And Admiral, our manager, dazzled the floor with the jackpot. I'm impressed you thought to stash that much against chaos. Well, Ferg, we said you introduced each server to prime sirloin steak to celebrate our bound success today. What do you think, Caron? See if Mephi wants it too. Fresh, succulent, juicy meat. Of all the things you can mention. Alright then. I'll leave Rodian to pick a restaurant just for 10 for us. Okay, boom boom. Now we're talking, Ferg. After all is said and done. Beneath her grin, Rodian's eyes were shaking with distress. But she soon covers it up with a guise of joviality as if nothing ever happened. I'm pretty rad, aren't I?
그림자를 쫓던 나날들 남은 건 허망한 기억 불길이 나를 태운 것처럼 내 손엔 잿빛 먼지뿐 쉼없이 달려왔던 나를 죄어오던 시간들 이조차 그리워질까 먼 날 언젠가는 돌이켜볼 기억 속에 미소 질 수 있기를 내게 남은 알 수 없는 시간과 이제는 나가야 할 때 자신을 태워 사라져가는 촛불과 닮아 있구나 숨고를 새도 없이 떠밀려 던져진 날 속에 내 길을 갈 수 있기를 먼 날 언젠가는 돌이켜볼 기억 속에 미소 질 수 있도록 멀리 멀리 날아가고 싶어 밤하늘의 새처럼 별에 닿을 수 있게 이 밤 또다시 찾아오겠지만 괜찮아 다 사라지네 괜찮아
Impressive, Miradivi. Not only did you manage to clear up the legion of foes, you also burned all that cash. You should know, Herman, that I've never been friends with money. I'll admit, you're like most idealists who are all theory and no action. You've earned my praise had you secured the golden bow on top of everything. I showed Roja that world. The ideal reality that fascinated me. Alas, I suppose you didn't win her over. So the method you just was wrong after all, Herman. Just the kind of person who let a few words change your mind. So do you find this regrettable? Well, part of me why I wish she'd followed me like in the past. But no, I think I might be relieved to find that she's the same as before. Yoja was wishing for a perfect world with no flaws whatsoever. Rather, she might have felt that would be boring to live in such a world. There'd be no way to affirm that she's special. That's the impression I got. I thought her to be a woman of virtue. Principles unshakable. But hearing this, she was a dreamer just like you, wasn't she? She still has a long way to go, I'm sure. She won't want to admit it, though. I got your point. I'll keep it in mind for future consideration on our course of action. You won't scold me for this. I'll tell them to complete the job you gave me. Your commands won't make the goal appear at our feet, will they? It's fine. What do the bows want? May it be right now? Matters more who claims the bundle at the end. Definitely not ominous whatsoever. But that's the end of Canto II. And I feel like you can kind of see why it's a little bit disappointing. Just because it feels incomplete. And we'll get there later. I'll explain that more next time. But it feels incomplete. The boss fight is really disappointing. It doesn't feel like Roja really has all that much growth to her. But also, I feel like that's kind of by design. Roja's whole thing is that she's not special, and she's quite literally running away from her problems. She's running away from her growth. And that shows really well in the boss fight. At least conceptually it shows well in the boss fight. that she is literally just running away the entire time. But again, it feels incomplete. And I do think that was on purpose, but I don't think it's particularly good. It's a weird Kanto. And while we assume that everyone is getting at least... Well, if we go by the Divine Comedy structure, we can probably assume that everyone's going to eventually get 3 Kantos. Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. Paradiso? I don't know. At the very least, people are expecting a rerun of Gregor and Roja. Partially because both of them feel very incomplete. That said, of course, I will always give praise to the fact that it is just a very fun Kanto. Again, it's not like the most, it's not serious, and it's not trying to be too terribly serious. It's just, it's very fun, and it's very enjoyable, and as well, this may be a hot take. Roja's Pass On, I think, is my favorite. In terms of composition, especially. I'm not fully familiar with how they do Pass On. They just have every voice actor sings at the end of their character's Kanto. But I find the composition of Roja's Pass On to be so good. Probably only one close would be Hong Lu's. But I don't know, just the piano especially. I'm a big piano guy. I wish I was better than I am at piano, but composition of it is fantastic. Next time we'll do ourselves a mirror dungeon, and yeah. But until then,